Hey guys, it's Ivan from Indoor Ivan and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at all of the plants that I've been keeping inside over the summer. So there are two reasons why I do keep some of my plants inside. One, it is either because of a lot of the critters that are outside, whether they dig things up or they decide to eat them, and two, because they can be very expensive, so I can't afford to have those get damaged or stolen. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we are going to take a look at how the plants are doing. So starting off at the kitchen table, you can see here, this is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. This is the tissue culture one that I have. So it is on the table and I'm kind of having it lean on the wall and up the stairwell. It doesn't get very much light, so as you can see that internode spacing there is quite long as it stretches for more light. But I do like how it looks, so I plan on keeping that where it is there. And as you continue to the other side, we have my Ficus Audrey. I love how the leaves are nice and velvety. It hasn't grown a whole lot over the summer. You can see there are some new leaves coming out there, but it has been very slow growing in this area. We do have the plants beside the vent, which makes it a little bit challenging with those drafts. We are, however, by a south-facing window. It is a challenge though, because they are California shutters, so they do block out a decent amount of light, so we don't get that full direct sunlight coming in. And then as we follow along our south-facing side of the house, we do have some vines here. So I have my philodendron, just the regular green heart-shaped leaf one. It has kind of trailed and grown on the floor as well, if you can see that there. But it seems to be enjoying the area. It has started to grow onto the wall, and those roots are actually pretty stuck on there. So it's interesting to see that. I'm going to let it grow on for a little bit longer before I might take them off, just because they do leave little marks on the wall, as you can see there. That's the one that I pulled off the wall. And then kind of transitioning from that philodendron, we have our Scindapsus. So this is just the green one, and it is enjoying that sun there. And then we have our Pilea that's over on this side. As we move towards the kitchen area, you can see one of my little snake plant leaves. So the squirrels ended up chewing off the end of one of these and breaking off a leaf. So I just plunked that in water. So far there's no roots growing yet, but we'll see how that does. Going up over here, we have just some random plants that I have put. They only get water once a week, so they're not looking their best, but they're doing okay. And then I have a couple more on this side as well that just hang out there. And of course we have our pothos over here, our mandula, which apparently is really hard to find, but is starting to become a little bit more common. You can see that the leaves right over there are nice and dark and deep green. The leaves over here, these are a lot older growths, so you can see it's a little bit bare there. So as we move up the stairs, you can see that the ZZ plant isn't super close to that window, but it is getting some west-facing sun. It is important to remember that although ZZ plants will tolerate dark conditions, they don't love it. And as you can see, this is some new growth here, and it's a little bit leggy. It's not as compact as some of the other previous leaves are, but it's surviving. So you guys might remember my little grow cabinet. So as of right now, most of the plants, well actually all of the plants inside have been taken out, so it's just turned off for now. I do have two plants that are up there. They get north and west-facing sun. So we have my staghorn fern that has been mounted on driftwood that one of my volunteers, I think it was like 3 years ago, gave me, and that's mounted on there. It is doing nice. I was a little bit worried with how dry and dark this corner is, but it looks like it is surviving and growing well. And we just have some regular pothos cuttings that are in a little glass jar. And both of those are doing well in this dimly lit area. It does get a little bit of direct sunlight in the evening as the sun's setting from the west. So over here, we have my grow shelves. This is kind of like the stronghold to where all of my plants indoors are staying. So you can see some of my fertilizers and watering containers, and I have 2 fans that are set up over there. So we'll take a look at these plants. So we have one of my snake plants here. Look at that beautiful leaf. In here we have like a menagerie, you could say, of different plants growing. So we have our orchid that I got from Tara a few years ago. I think it was maybe actually only a year ago. We have our ZZ Raven, which actually is quite tall. If you take a look, you can actually see a new growth there. So it's going to take a while, but exciting to see how tall that will eventually be. And behind that ZZ plant, we have our Hoya carrii. So it's gotten quite tall and heavy, so it's actually grown past the shelf area that it's on. So it's kind of just taken over and I've let it grow. Behind it, you can see my ant plants. So I actually used to have quite a few of these ant plants. So you can see one right there. I had 12 other ones that I actually sold, so I've only kept 3 there. You can kind of see the interesting holes that have started on some of them, because eventually as these get bigger, they end up having little holes and tunnels where the ants can kind of form their own little colony and home. We have my jade plant, which I cut back a while ago, and as you can see, we have new leaves coming out almost everywhere, which is nice to see. A lot of the older leaves are starting to yellow and drop off, which is fine. So as we continue over here, we have more plants. We have my orchid cactus, which is right there. I did show my orchid cactus flower bud a while ago. I think it might be flowering soon. The flower bud is not as firm as it was before, and it's feeling like a little bit mushier, I guess you could say, as the petals are developing a little bit more. And as we turn over here, we have my Monstera Thai Constellation, which I repotted into just a regular plastic pot, as you can see, and it seems to be doing a lot better in that plastic pot in terms of consistency in moisture. And then we have another snake plant over here. We have my staghorn fern, which was previously mounted to this piece of wood. I think it was 2 months ago, I watered it and it kind of fell over and it actually fell out of this little indent. So it's kind of placed on a big angle to make sure it doesn't fall over again. And then as we look, we have my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma tucked in here. And then we have my silver dollar vine there. As we move on to the next level down here, we have some succulents that I got from Niagara College Greenhouse. And then I have some Hoyas back here as well. Another snake plant further down. My desert rose, which last year got attacked by squirrels, if you can see that there. So because it got attacked by squirrels, this year it stayed inside to avoid any further damage. And then further back we have some more Hoyas, quite a few Hoya carrii hiding back there, including Hoya carrii Splash, if you can see. And then we have our fans. So we have 2 fans, just to make sure that the air is circulating, because these lights, and these are sun blaster lights, do get quite hot. So I make sure that the fans go on just to make sure the air is circulating and nothing gets too hot. And finally down here we have our fiddle leaf fig cutting. I don't think anything's happening with it. Let's take a look. Not a whole lot yet. Then we have our Sansevieria starfish, which is getting quite tall. And you can actually see that if you follow it up, one of the leaves is actually poking through to the next level. We have here our ZZ Zenzi, and I really like that compact growth because it's so much smaller. Very cute. We have our ZZ Raven back here. So this one is from Costa Farms. So I got that from Lowe's. You might be seeing a lot of these ZZ Ravens on sale, especially on Facebook Marketplace. You should be able to get these for like around $20 to $25. So if you're paying quite a bit, even just for a single one, just be careful because you might be overpaying for your plant. We have over here another ZZ plant. This is my variegated ZZ that's kind of hiding in there. You can kind of see those leaves there. So I had this variegated ZZ for quite a while. I think it's almost going to be 2 years now. And it's finally starting its new growth. Oh my goodness. So you can see that right there as I try to zoom up to that growth. So unfortunately, when I got it, it did push out one new leaf, but then that little tuber rotted and growth kind of just halted for what felt like forever. So it'll be exciting to see a new leaf come out of this variegated ZZ plant. And then over here we have our Sansevieria Moonshine that's hiding there. I still need to repot that. You can see all those roots exposed there. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed that little tour. And before I go, I just wanted to show you some of the fertilizers that I've been using. So I have been trying to use organic fertilizer. So this is a fish emulsion that I've used over the summer. And I've only recently got this kind of phytoplankton soil conditioner. So I started to use that last week. It's also just as smelly as the fish emulsion fertilizer, but I'm hoping to see some results with the plants. So stay tuned. Until next time.